you also need to be checked on when you get home. Really.
Yeah. But somehow you're the one who is looking out for her.
It doesn't matter even if she has 5 security guards, you know.
Yeah.
You're the one saying, you know, you let me know, check home.
So is that nature? Is it in our nature that is how we are supposed to be?
I don't know. I think so. So these are things now. I mean, these are observations I'm making now. I'm telling you that, there are things you do even when, I mean, for instance, you are in the you are somehow you are forced. I've seen men end up doing things that honestly they shouldn't be doing, or things that are out of their. You're in the bar, maybe even your kamane is. You don't have kamane, but now you are calling your boys, man, holler at me with a Kaluz 50k.
Yeah.
I don't know since when money has been that loose, but man, holler at me with a Kaluz 50k, man. This chick is here and I must impress. One time one of my boys called me and this was a Sunday evening. I was even in church that time, and then he said, man, look at this chick, man. Your guy. But the chick has money though. But it's like, yo, first show me where you went and bought the gifts. The gifts I bought for the birthday for my wife now. Yeah. And told me, first can't show me where you bought those gifts, man. First, with this chick, man, I must do whatever it is to make sure I impress her, man. I'm like, but first of all, that chick has more money than you have. I don't know if you, like, yeah, but I don't care. I am willing now to go out of my way and do all these things. Why? Because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
At some point, he has to show he's a solid guy. He can take care.
Yeah.
But though I think it's much more than that. Sometimes it's not just about money. Sometimes it's protection, affirmation, a whole lot of other things. Yeah. But the guy is telling you it starts with money. Now I'm giving it from a bar perspective. It starts with money, man. But even in the bar itself, you see a guy is just around. Are you going to the bathroom? Are you going to the bathroom? Okay, I'll be waiting here at the entrance. I've seen guys wait at the entrance of bathrooms.
Yeah,
husband and wife.
Obviously
not. Where does that passion die?
You see a guy. I think saying she will come back. She will make it in the bathroom and she will come back.
Lawrence, where does that passion go?
The one of waiting for her to come out of the bathroom.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the first
taking
time
care of her.
The first time I went on a date with my wife, I said I'm going to be a gentleman. After our milk and cake and tin down the street there, escorted her, and then we got to her car. I was ready to take her into a taxi. Only to find out that, by the way,
there's a car.
I parked here. So we get to the parking. I'm like, okay, now, Ras, this is the part where you show up. And guess what I did? I said, I'm going to do what a gentleman does. Went to open the door. But the moment I touched that door, something came into my head. The moment you open this door, you better be ready.
You're going to
open it every day. Are you going to continue? Wow. Long story short, so far I'm still opening the doors, but pray for me. So where does it go?
So if you're standing at the bathroom holding, you see a Jamaaz with biceps, what is holding a tiny handbag.
Handbag holders club.
He's holding the handbag, he's waiting at the entrance of the bathroom. You're not gonna be caught, but in your head you're like, my guy, I'm going to wait for you here. You'll be coming back with the same bag. We shall see.
And it normally happens?
A few guys maintain. A few guys. I've seen that. Interestingly, I've seen a few guys. It's the same thing. There are couples I have seen.
Yeah.
That still come to the bar together. 10 years later, there's a couple I met the other day.
Yeah.
I even did their wedding reception. So I met them. Now they have done 12 years. And they still hang out together. They still drink together. They still get drunk together in particular. And when they are staggering, they stagger together. This one is holding, this one, that's one, but they go home. And
For better or for worse.
Together.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful story.
You know,
Because I was thinking now, those other guys who are waiting by the bathroom, if interestingly, the next week they'll be waiting for someone else.
exactly. A fresh person. You know, there's nothing as exciting. It's like new shoes and, you know, even a new china is see people
Newness.
But which will bring me to the question, which I'll explain it later to the question you are going to ask me about good guys, but I'll explain it later.
So even as we get into this break, we're going to come back and Punk Rob, are going to tell us where did the good men go? Because for some reason, the number of single mothers, women who are choosing to be alone rather than be with guys, is increasing. When we come back, we're going to find out why you think this is on the rise.
This is Lawrence's reflection on a solid Jamaaz. Well, you know that I have the capacity of impregnating a woman at least every week, if not 2 or 3. But a woman has the capacity of giving birth to at least a baby in 9 months. The man or the father or the seed bearer is the most critical part in this equation. And we're talking about, in my reflection, the presence of a man in the life of a home, in a woman's life, and most especially in a child's life. Father presence and father absence is a critical aspect of life today, even as we speak. And I implore you as a man to think deep about this, to think through about this, that if you are not available for your children that you have sired, whether it is through someone you married or someone you just met, your responsibility is to be available to them for the following reasons. That the many social ills, the intractable social ills affecting children are, as a result, many of them, of absence of fathers. For example, where there is no father, there is 4 times greater risk of poverty, 7 times more likely to become pregnant as a teenager. These children are more likely to have behavioral problems. They are 2 times greater a risk of infant mortality in those children. They are more likely to face abuse of drugs and alcohol. They are more likely to go to prison. They are more likely to commit crime. In fact, they are more likely to commit suicide. 2 times more likely to drop out of school, and 2 times more likely to have obesity and even mental illness. And by the way, not to mention this psychological low shift in their lives where they feel inferior wherever they go. But children with involved fathers have a strong foundation for child well-being, and they have a lower risk for a host of all those things I've talked about. Have a lower risk for infant mortality, lower risk for low birth weight, low risk for emotional and behavioral problems, low risk for neglect and abuse, for injury, for obesity, for poor school performance, for teenage pregnancy, for incarceration, for suicide, and for criminal activity. The man, the solid man, carries a lot of weight in society. That if these ills that we are seeing today are to be arrested, every single one of us men must take our part and become present At this moment in time, in my reflection, I really don't care whether that woman or that child was born in wedlock or out of wedlock. Are you the father? Be the damn father.
Son of righteousness. Son of righteousness.
This has been Lawrence's Reflection on Solid Jamaaz, a segment where we reflect on the issues of manhood and society around us. We're back here on a Solid Jamaaz with DJ Bank Robber. What a name. Is there something you normally do at when you're mixing those things? There's a signature voice, signature sound you do. You're announcing yourself, something of that nature.
Let that man tell you.
Drop the bomb, man.
That's what you should do it.
I think we shall get some of those clips. One of our favorites is, I sent this one out to Vince Kasule. Where are you going at home? Where are you going? Stay at home. You heard that? You heard the president say that?
No.
Well, I forgot. You're not interested in that man's things. But yeah, the president asked during the lockdown, where are you going? Stay at home. Yeah. And I think that is a real pertinent thing to tell some people.
Yeah, of course.
Where you go,
yeah.
Stay at home. Mm-hmm. So, bank robber, we're seeing homes increasingly becoming women-led. Mm. And I've come also to find out in my research that it seems for a woman to succeed or to go out into the corporate world and grow, they seem to have to stand on the backs of other women for them to go forward, you know. And I keep making this joke that if all the maids in Kampala got together on a WhatsApp group and decided that they're being treated badly and they went on strike, you know what's going to happen? There won't be anybody in school. Our offices will be empty. They will not be jammed because everyone, for some reason, will discover that they have to stay at home and fix their home.
Correct.
You get? So we're living in such a world. Things are topsy-turvy, but give us your insight, especially when you look at my case is in Nigeria. You know, you enter a compound, yeah, and an apartment of 12 units, women, and men only come on the weekend. Where did the good men go?
Okay, so let's start by defining who do we define as single mothers? By the basic definition, and we are going to see how we are going to relate it until I even move to the bar and see how we can marry all these issues. So the basic definition of a single mother is basically, you know, it's a mother raising children without the presence of the father.
Yeah.
Okay, or a man. Okay, let's say the father. This could happen. So very many reasons, but now we are using choice. So in other words, we take out things like death. Okay, so let's stick to choice. So by choice, it could mean that you've divorced, you've broken up. So we are also going to exclude things like maybe defilement, rape, or one of those things, because that's not choice. But say or maybe let's stick to really choice.
Yeah.
So here is what happens. It may not actually be choice. Funny enough is that as much as you may say it's choice, sometimes it is not actually choice. But there are also those who deliberately choose. I'll give you an example of a celebrity. There's a news anchor. She actually, we lived in the same neighborhood. She's been on the news and she adopted a daughter. She got married recently, a news anchor. And she said in the interview that I chose to adopt this child because at the time I wanted to get married. You know, I could not find the right person, but I wanted a child. But I didn't want to go and, sleep with someone. So I chose to have a child. I went and I adopted a child. And I didn't realize this until I realized we lived in the same neighborhood. And I saw the kid. It was a very disciplined kid, and she was a single mother for a while until she recently got married. So that is a choice.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good choice. But then all over the world. For instance, you know that statistically, single motherhood increased. I think it came from the generation of our mothers. That's when it became very huge.